And so today we have a nice young man here. His name is Franck Waffo. And his attempt here to do a video, a persuasive speech video on abortion is going to be the topic of this particular video. Frank, take it away.
Hello, my name is Franck Waffo.
Nice to see you, Frank. Good. I'm glad I found you today.
And today I would like to talk to you about abortion and why I believe abortion should be pro-choice and
okay. Yeah.
why I also believe it should be legal for everyone.
You see, Frank, you're trying to do a persuasive speech. I assume you're doing this for a college class maybe, or a high school class, whatever. I can't tell how old you are. You look like you're probably 21, 22. Precision in language is important. Get your point across. Now, I'm going to violate this rule later because I've listened to your video. I'm going to repeat myself over and over. But you say, I also believe it should be legal for everyone. Frank, my dear, it is not legal for men. Abortion is only legal for women. We'll get back to that later.
Today, in this world, abortion is a big topic talked about all over the world.
It's divisive, to say the very least.
And in certain countries it's legal, in certain countries it's not.
Yeah, you know what some of those countries also got to do about this topic, Frank? They got to vote on it. I know, right? In the United States, we have the Supreme Court telling us that it is part of the Constitution, and thus the American people have no say in whether it's legal or not.
Also, in certain states it's legal, in other states it is not.
Actually, in all 50 states, abortion is legal, Frank. You could at least get your data and your talking points correct. Try harder, buddy.
But overall, I believe abortion should be universally legal for everyone.
Imprecise language. What you mean to say, Frank, is abortion should be legal for all women, for it is not legal for men.
Some reasons why are some people do not plan on having a baby. Let's say they get raped and they end up being pregnant.
You know what this is called, Frank? This is called a corner case. And you're going to give us yet another one in moments.
I don't believe somebody that's been raped should have to have the kid just because it was out of their control.
I think you would have to go to the farthest corners of this country and many other countries where there might be some people who believe it is the will of God that the woman was raped and she should have the baby. Those would probably be fewer than a dozen people in the entire country. If there's one thing we almost universally agree upon, Frank, pro-life, pro-choice. Someone who is violated like that, or incest, for example, nobody's talking about making it illegal for women to make that choice in those circumstances.
There's no need for them to have that kid. The kid could be more of just like a PTSD, a type of trauma for them.
You could also adopt the child out. But I understand, and feminists are probably right in this respect, the adoption laws in this country are f***ed. So maybe we need to start paying more attention to that, pro-life people. Let's get that stuff changed so women that decide to have their children but don't want them can more easily adopt them. That would be fantastic.
And it would just really put them in a place where they did not want to have a kid. Also, if it looks like a mother may not survive pregnancy, she should have the choice between being able to abort or not.
And again, Frank, you could search high and low. I think this is almost universal, except for those few dozen people, not very many people, believe that if a woman's life is on the line if that pregnancy continues, that she should not be allowed to have an abortion. Although doctors will tell you the quickest way to rid the woman of that problem is to have the baby. But go right ahead.
And it should just be a woman's choice with her own body.
Yes, you're finally using more precise language, Frank. For do you know which part of the human race has no choice with respect to becoming a parent when they're not ready? Any ideas, Frank?
You wouldn't want people to decide for you what you want to do. You should be able to make your own choices.
Except if someone wants to force you into becoming a father. You see, then you have the entire government forcing you to do that. whether you like it or not. Isn't that great? It appears half of the human race, you want to have all of these options and choices, but the other half, you don't really care. Do you, Frank?
Pro-choice because of those. That is the main reason. I feel as if people shouldn't be telling other people what to do. Everyone has their own choice to do things.
Except if you're a man, but we'll get back to that. By the way, Frank, we talked about corner cases. Much greater than 99% of abortions in the United States are for reasons other than rape, incest, or the life of the mother, just in case they didn't teach you that in your feminasty brainwashing sessions when you were in high school. You're welcome.
And another reason is because just because we don't legalize abortion doesn't mean it isn't going to still happen.
Coat hanger abortions, right? Mythology, my friend. Mythology. It was called a back alley abortion, dear, because you went in through the back in the alley to go to the doctor that would do the abortion for you. Very, 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 very few women performed coat hanger abortions. But go on and believe whatever mythology you'd like to believe. That's fine. It's up to you.
Legalizing abortion,
It's your choice.
in my opinion, just makes abortion less safe. People are still going to have abortions with or without legalizing it.
Well, it is legal. So I'm not sure. You're trying to persuade what at this point? Abortion is legal in the United States, and it probably always will be in most states. So I'm not sure what you're trying to persuade me to think here.
But legalizing abortion would just make it so much easier for people to access it.
Precise language. Much easier for women to access it.
And it would also make it a lot safer. But
well, yeah, compared to a coat hanger. Absolutely.
On the other hand, I see the point of which legalizing abortion just means teenagers could have unprotected sex and just abort it anytime they want. I see that. But
Frank, do you know the demographic of women? What age group of women have the most abortions? Would you like to take a guess? It's not 14-year-old kids in the back of a car. It's not 17-year-old kids getting drunk at prom. It is 21, 22, and 23-year-old women. Again, another little gem that they didn't bother telling you in high school.
But also, it is also a woman's choice.
It's a woman's choice, right?
May not want to have the kid. She may not be ready to have the kid.
Tell me, Frank, what if a man, say, you had sex, right? And say you're not ready to become a father. Say you don't want anything to do with it. It's going to screw up your dreams playing in sports or, your college plan or whatever. You just don't want to be a father. Guess how much say you have in getting out of that? That would be none, because the government will force you to do whatever she wants you to do. I know, it's crazy. We can't force women into becoming mothers, but we force men to become fathers all the time.
Kids are an expense.
Yeah, it's not like getting a dog. It's a big responsibility. Thus, people ought to put a little more thought into it.
Pretty much. And some people aren't ready to have kids.
Some people, but only women get to decide that.
And that's just the way the world is. I believe it's their choice, not some government bureaucrat deciding for them what they should do.
Except if you're a man, Frank. Since you have not mentioned this at any point in your little presentation here, I'm assuming you're perfectly okay with the government telling you, Frank, you got a girl pregnant, you are going to become a father, whether you like it or not. So you agree with that, Frank. Is that what I'm supposed to take? Or, Frank, would you be one of those men who says, well, you shouldn't have had sex? And yet if the same thing is said about women, they're being oppressed by the patriarchy. Aren't they, Frank? Link below, James Maxwell. Thank you for listening.